everybody, and welcome back to today's show of Flex. I'm Jeanette Diergaard, your presenter for Flex. Now, we are having a really interesting discussion with Dr. Penehafo Shindume. She is a naturopathic doctor, so she specializes in natural medicine, which is completely scientific based as well. So you guys can follow along with the discussion that we will be having, where she will also be outlining what natural medicine is and how we are using it today, especially during the pandemic. And then we will go into the session with NHRS, Namibia Health Resolutions, with Mark Joseph. He is from Mindful Revolution, just on the mental health series that they are doing. And today we are going to watch the day 9 video. So stay tuned for all that. And I hope that you will get a lot more from the interview than just listening there, not taking anything in. But that is it from me. I will see you in the interview with Dr. Penehafo. We're back with Dr. Penehafo Shindume. Doctor, welcome to the show.
Hi, Janet. Thank you.
Awesome. How are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm great as well. I see we're both having our hair natural this morning. I love to see it.
You know, this hairstyle is so warm. I actually really love it because it keeps my ears nice and warm.
Keeps your ears warm. It's like natural. What do they call it again? Yeah, whatever.
Those mittens?
Oh, mittens, I think. Okay, cool, doctor. Can you briefly just introduce yourself and what it is that you do? Yes, you already introduced you as Dr. Penehafo, but what do you do, doctor?
Well, I'm a naturopathic doctor based in Windhoek, Namibia. I own a health center called Happy Health, and I'm the founder of it. And also, I'm the practicing doctor at Happy Health.
Yes. And doctor, can you perhaps just briefly explain what naturopathic medicine entails?
All right. So, naturopathic medicine is a form of medicine that is leaning towards a more natural-based approach. Naturopathy was first started in Europe, particularly in Germany, but now it's very, it's spread all over the world. It's mostly now in Canada, North America, and Australia. The modalities that we practice in naturopathy is clinical nutrition and herbal medicine, basically, mostly. And then there's things like traditional Chinese medicine that we incorporate in naturopathy, and as well as things like hydrotherapy, which is a term that means curing with water. Then we also have other types of modalities that we can incorporate that is used worldwide, really. There are 7 principles that we abide to as naturopathic doctors. Some of them, or I can say most of them, goes like this. First, you do no harm to your patient, and then you also consider the healing power of nature. Everything that nature offers is what you must first consider. And then there is doctor as teacher. You as a doctor, you need to be the teacher, and not necessarily. You need to be able to disseminate information from yourself as a doctor to your patient. And then there is prevention and disease promotion. That is one of those modalities. Principles that we also abide to.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, what are you specializing in, and what did you have to do or study to become a naturopathic doctor?
My clinic is mostly based on nutritional medicine. I went to school in Cape Town at the University of the Western Cape, they used to offer. I don't think they're offering natural medicine as a profession anymore, but natural medicine, specifically naturopathy, um, has about 2 degrees that you need to do. You need to do a bachelor science in complementary health sciences, and then you also need to do a B naturopathy if you're taking that particular stream. There are other streams though, things like Ayurveda or traditional Chinese medicine or phytotherapy. Those are all other streams that you can take within the natural medicine field. But I particularly went with naturopathy, which is, I consider to be the general practitioner of natural medicine. You can incorporate all those other modalities within. Um, yeah, more or less.
Okay, cool. And Doctor, when I heard about you, that was also the first time I heard about naturopathic medicine. Can you perhaps just, is there any misconceptions about the field from the medical field as well and from the public?
Yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions out there about natural medicine practitioners in general. We consider it not to be a real science or not to practice real science, but that's not true. All of our modalities are based on true, real scientific approaches. And then we are also considered like when we prescribe things like vitamins and minerals, they're considered expensive urine, or you get, as a result of taking them, you're just getting nothing else but expensive urine. But that's not true. In this day and age where our lifestyles have expanded so much and there's so much to do, and our foods unnecessarily of high quality as we used to get them back then, there's definitely a need for supplementation and minerals and vitamins to boost our bodies to become more optimum in how they're functioning. Other misconceptions are, I suppose we are told that, oh no, specifically with us naturopaths, we considered, oh, we're seen to, or they think we make our own medicines, but we don't. We source all of our medicines and they have to be of a quality standard, most of them. So we don't make our own medicines at all. And as a naturopath in Africa, there's obviously a lot of potential in natural medicine. And that's really my dream. It's to make that, African medicine more sort of quality, bringing it into a clinical context that is standardized and also, what's the word that I want to use? That is scientific, actually. So that's the bigger dream. But we're not many naturopaths in Namibia and in Africa overall. So I think that dream is still very far-fetched, but we will get there.
I think it's awesome that that's what you aspire to one day bring into, or like make the African medicine, as you said, bring the quality into it, because at the end of the day, a lot of people probably also think that it's just, stuff that our grandmas made up and all those kinds of things, whereas the plants actually,
But to a certain extent, yes, it is stuff that our grandmas and our ancestors used. We just need to bring it on a platform where it is regulated properly and researched properly, so that we are able to really quantify what it does. So there's nothing wrong with thinking it's ancestral or it's from our grandmas. They used it and they survived, So these are the things that we need to just bring out and highlight and say, hey, we're Namibians and this is what we use. This is what we eat. And yes, it's just as beneficial. Yeah.
Exactly. And brag about our ancestral roots.
Exactly.
And our doctor, quickly going to the, taking the conversation to COVID-19, what are the common and natural medicines, preventative measures that we can use against COVID-19, or help treat the symptoms rather?
Yeah. Well, I mean, right now, natural medicines are really being highlighted within this COVID
Yes.
19 situation. And as a naturopath, I obviously have to highlight those that seem to have been studied and are really making a difference. So, and which are actually also quite out there. The first one is vitamin C, which is like an immune vitamin booster. It really does help with any acute respiratory infections, and it overall works with your immunity overall. So vitamin C is definitely one of those things that you should be taking, because it doesn't only just boost your immune system, but when you are infected, it shortens the duration of your infection, and
Mm-hmm.
also it just helps with reducing the signs and symptoms, like the fever, the chills, the chest pain. All of those things can be sort of minimized because you're taking vitamin C. But
Absolutely.
the important thing to note is the quantity in which you're taking, um, and that comes down to what's available out there in the market. Because yes, everything has vitamin C, but how much of it are you taking, and for how long are you taking it? So that's where us as experts must come in and just highlight those things. So it's vitamin C and then vitamin D, vitamin D3 specifically, which is also being highlighted quite out there already. And again, it's again just to shorten the duration of the symptoms that you're getting. But also, I have a reservation around vitamin D, because vitamin D originally we get
Come
from the
from the
sun.
sun. Yeah.
Yes, and we in Namibia have a lot of sunshine. So I think for vitamin D to be effective, people must first get tested for their deficiencies around
Mm-hmm.
vitamin D. If you are deficient, and especially in your elderly ages, then maybe that can be considered. But for a young person who eats right and doesn't necessarily abuse any substances, or doesn't have any comorbidities, then I don't know if vitamin D is necessary
Yeah.
specifically. But that's my reservation as a practitioner in Namibia, because
Mm-hmm.
um, other practitioners out there in the world, like the northern countries, yes, they don't get enough sunshine. So, and they can definitely be more prone to vitamin D deficiency. So something
Yes.
like that can be highlighted in an area like that. But I'm not very sure about Namibia. I definitely think that you should be tested for a deficiency before you think, oh, you can take vitamin D.
Yeah. I
And
like that
then,
you highlighted that during these times, that's when or the naturopathic medicine are highlighted more. And I don't think a lot of the people realizes that that is natural medicine.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just when I was back at school and I chose to study natural medicine, I was vilified for it, because everybody was like, "What is that? Are you going to be a sangoma, or what are you gonna be?" I'm gonna be a doctor. I'm like, how? Where are you gonna work? And because nobody really understands what natural medicine is about. But I remember a specific lecturer of mine whom I went to, because when I went to Cape Town to study, I actually went to study dentistry.
Okay.
And yeah, I no, I actually like natural medicine, but I didn't know where to find it. It was not being offered anywhere else in Africa, really. But they were starting it at the university that I went to for dentistry. And then in my first year, I swapped. I swapped, but I was motivated by a professor. I don't know if he's still around. I forgot his name, but he was a very old white professor whom I went to because I was confused, and I was one of his best students in that class. And he encouraged me to go for natural medicine, because he said that that's the doctor of the future.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be so happy that you have taken on this path, because in the future, people are going to leave chemicals and they'll be more lean to natural medicines.
Yes, absolutely. Going back to our roots again, after all, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now, Doctor, with the previous conversation we had, you spoke about that obviously the prescription that you would give to person differs. Now, can we briefly also just outline what the importance is of your wellness completely, and for you to actually also recover from diseases like COVID-19?
Yeah. Wellness should be something that is a daily thing. One must be constantly conscious of what you are putting into your body, where you're exposing yourself to, because and especially with COVID-19, I think that we don't necessarily have to focus on the exposure to the virus.
Yes.
What we have to focus on is preparing yourself, your body, and your immune system first and foremost. And you do that by nutrition, a proper dietary schedule that you should follow. It doesn't necessarily have to be a schedule, but I like to put emphasis on the importance of fresh foods and just nutrition in general, because that's what builds you and your body. And I go by this motto: you are what you eat. You definitely are what you eat. What you put into your body is exactly what your body gives you. And most of what's happening now is, yes, people have comorbidities, and comorbidities overall is just lifestyle diseases. And why are they lifestyle diseases? It's because you're choosing not necessarily the best lifestyle choices, or
Yes.
making the best lifestyle choices. So choosing to drink your water regularly is very important. Eating your fresh foods and fruits and vegetables, that's really important. Getting enough rest, that's also really, really important. And just keeping a positive mindset. So the things that is around you is what makes you you. And if you focus on things that are not necessarily building you, then when things like this come on, like these viral attacks that are coming onto you now, you are found in a compromised situation, and this is when you are not able to fight the illness properly. Yeah.
Absolutely. And Doctor, just to quickly end off, there's also something that you said, that your practice name is the happy, like you're all about happy and bringing happiness and joy. And can you maybe just, I don't know, I know that we can easily fall into that slump of being unhappy, but I believe that you would daily actually practice practice to be a happier person. How can you go about that and go into the next day or into the next hour more happier?
Yeah. Again, it's about choices, things that you need to choose to feed your mind. We live in an age where information is all across
All over the
us,
place, yeah.
everywhere. And so, what do you choose to focus on? Do you choose to focus on things that make you happy, or do you choose to get onto the stories of the bad stories, the death rates, the bad things that are
Yeah.
happening out there? So it's about choices. What are you choosing to follow, you as an individual? And practicing gratitude, really. We live in a very, very beautiful country. Everything is exposed to us in a much more natural way. There are lots of other people out there that are having it worse off. And we also have a government that cares for us. And the attempts that they're taking to make sure that we stay healthy
Yeah.
is commendable, but what are you doing to help the government, and instead of just being negative about them or complaining all the time, what are you doing as an individual? And with everyone, it's important to understand that it all starts with us, as an individual, and not giving power over anybody else. And those are one of the principles that we are taught as naturopaths, is to be teachers, just to teach you, and not necessarily to take responsibility for you. So all the doctors out there can only do this much. 20% of it is what they can offer you, but 80% of that is all up to you. For you to end up in a hospital, it's probably because you didn't do half of or more of the things that you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
So just be responsible in making the choices that make you happy. So for me, it's not just boiling down to one thing. It's many factors, but that's all but that's all up to you as an individual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Doctor. It was great talking to you. And yeah, I hope you have that you actually accomplish your goal, and where we can live in an Africa where we actually promote our medicines and have that platform where we can say, yes, this is our medicine, we are proud to have it, and we're proud to share it with the rest of the world. But thank you also for sharing your wisdom and your words with us.
Thank you, Jeanette.
That is it from me, Jeanette Diergaard. I hope you guys had a very insightful episode, or that you enjoyed it. And yes, let's look to the future and be a lot more happy and make good decisions for our own health and our own happiness. That is it from me again. And you guys can watch the mental health series episode today after this. I will see you in the next Flex episode.
Welcome back, friends. Really great to see you again. I'm sure it's pretty chilly where you are too. What are your triggers today? And I'd love to hear from you. If you can pop them in the Q&A. Are you there? Are your fingers too cold to type today? Yeah, it's cold. Pop. What are your triggers? My triggers, things that upset me. In Windhoek, it's cold, right? Yeah, to breathe with everyone. Thank you. Hermine is here. Awesome. Hermine is saying the birthplace of creativity is breathing is the birthplace of creativity. The calm that it provides gives me the clarity to think quicksilver thoughts. Gee, I love that. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing with us. Hermine is a mindful champion. Yeah. So what are my triggers? I mean, I suppose working from home, my triggers are noise, neighbors with leaf blowers, that pushes my buttons, and I can feel my breath like becoming short. And I guess work is also overwhelmed for me because the lady that works in our house that does our cleaning, she can't come in. She is compromised in our third wave. My son is at home. So this morning in the cold, I'm hanging the washing before my work starts. My work is busy. I have to mop the floor. I have to vacuum and sweep and wash clothes and cook and still look after my son who's at home. It's difficult. These are difficult times, and I feel triggered very quickly and very easily. Bernadette says my husband and my kids drive me nuts. I hear you. Her main negativity about the pandemic. Hooters outside when I'm trying to work. Also, noise is a big one, and it can be a trigger. It can be a trigger, and often, like when the leaf blower is going, I think what a funny thing to use. Don't these people know I'm working today? But they're not at home working, so it doesn't affect them. So what do I do? I have two options. I can either go next door and I can fight and argue, or I can sit and go, okay, where is the irritation? The irritation is in me. Because if a leaf blower was inherently agitated from its own side, then everyone will hate the leaf blower. But I'm the only one that hates the leaf blower, which means this is my problem. That means I must do something to fix myself. So then I do the breathing exercises, and then I can feel, okay, I don't feel angry anymore. I don't feel upset anymore. I'm okay. And the dog can be barking and it's okay because I'm reaching a place of calm. So I can gauge my reactivity with my breath. And, also with grief and loss, we've had loved ones that have passed on. We have friends. And sometimes, when you feel intense grief, it's like a kick in the stomach. It's like when you get the wind knocked out of you, that sort of breathlessness. And, when you're sobbing, you can lose your breath, and find out even when we are grieving, our breath is difficult. So I found when I was young, I suffered from panic attacks. And whenever you have a panic or anxiety attack, the first thing that is affected is your breath. Your breath goes and you struggle to breathe, and you might get nauseous, or you might feel like you just can't breathe, etc. I find that there was a technique that I learned from those days, long time ago when I had my panic attacks, more than 20 years. And since I've been doing this breathing technique, which really, really helps me. So maybe you can try it. We'll do a little example. Okay. You take your right thumb and you put it on your right nostril like that. Okay. You take your index finger, put it on your forehead, and your middle finger, we can alternate. You see, the middle finger will block the left and the thumb will block the right. So let's try that, starting first with blocking the right nostril. And breathe in through the left nice and deep. Block the left with your middle finger and lift the thumb and exhale right. Breathe in right. Use your thumb to block the nostril. Exhale left. Breathing in left. Close the left. Open right. Exhale right. Breathe in right. Closing right. Exhale left. Breathe in left. Close the left. Open right. Exhale. Inhale right. Close. Exhale left. Breathe in left. Close left. Open right. Exhale. Inhale right. Closing right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Close. Exhale right. Inhale right. Close and drop your hand down and exhale. Breathing normally now, opening your eyes. Okay, so that might be a bit weird. You've never tried that before. But let me tell you, Hillary Clinton, she was up against Donald Trump and she lost. When was it? 2016 election. And she lost. She wrote a book. And in the book, she said that this breathing saved her life because she was very down, very depressed, and she was suffering from anxiety. And she said the alternate nostril breathing, it saved my life. It's a game changer. You do a little bit of breathing like that every day. I used to love it so much that I used to do it while driving, but don't do it while driving. Okay. Don't, because I used to feel a bit lightheaded. So if you're going to do this, make sure you're sitting down, not driving, or you're operating heavy machinery or something. So don't do what I did, but I used to do it regularly. Even watching TV, I used to sit and then slowly regulate my breathing. And it has a powerful effect on the immune system. And that breathing encourages the strength of the immune system, and also your stress levels decrease. Your cortisol, which is a stress drug, decreases. Your adrenaline decreases, and you are breathing in deeply, and you're switching the breath from left to right, which is incredibly good for your nervous system. You see, the reason why is our body is ancient. We have a very ancient body still in a very modern world. So 10,000 years ago, our ancestors would have to go out to find food, and every day was a threat. Every day you were thinking, today could be my last day. Now, I know we've been feeling a bit like that lately with coronavirus and with violence, etc. But it's not as bad as what our ancestors had to go through. You can imagine taking your son or your daughter out with you and not sure if you're going to make it home because there are wild animals and the elements. You just don't know.